And with that, we have Anoop Nannra, who is the head of blockchain for AWS. Anoop is also a very long participant in the blockchain space. He's been in it for quite a few years. He is graciously going to discuss today about how we can promote sustainability through technology investments and this next generation of technologies coming down the pike. And we're very fortunate to have him today. So with that, Anoop, would you like to tell us a little bit about your thoughts on saving the world?
I should take myself off mute. It'll help. No, thanks for the introduction, and thanks for inviting me to your salon. I'm really excited to kind of talk about the role that blockchain may play at addressing sustainability. So in my as Mariana mentioned, in my day job, I run the AWS partner blockchain business, and really looking at how do we help partners identify opportunities, how do we help them build solutions to address those opportunities, and how do we help scale their business. But if I step back for a minute and I look at just across the board, my sense is that as we look at the role that blockchain can play in sustainability, my sense is that we need far more solutions. I think the challenges and the opportunities around solving sustainability issues, beyond just carbon footprint and energy reduction and whatnot. There's a lot of diversity there in terms of the problem space. And I feel that we need more solutions. We need more developers out there who are looking at not just blockchain technologies, but a multitude of technologies that can come together so that we're actually delivering really impactful solutions across the board. And so as we look at this space, I think there's considerable opportunity out there. And I've, as Mariana mentioned, I've been in the blockchain space for longer than I'm willing to admit now. But as in a previous life, I ran the blockchain business at Cisco. And at Cisco, we were looking at a lot of very interesting use cases. But even back then, sustainability was one of those really critically important areas where we felt if we could introduce the notion of cryptographically provable efficacy around data management, infrastructure operations, that we're in a much stronger position to actually address some of the sustainability issues that are around. And also, while I was there, I co-founded and chaired the Trusted IoT Alliance, which was the world's first blockchain and IoT industry consortium. And what we really looked at there was, how do we actually establish the narrative and the lexicon of how do we actually communicate the benefits of blockchain in an IoT world? Right? What does it actually mean to blockchain enable a thing that speaks to the internet, when that thing could be just measuring O2 levels or CO2 levels, right? And as we went through that exercise of really understanding what our diverse member ecosystem needed, what they needed to develop, and how did that translate into solutions, we actually kicked off a very interesting program. It was very successful around global design challenges, right? And the idea that we could actually bring together innovators from around the world to actually solve, not just create solutions and solve for hypothetical use cases, but actually solve for real here and now business problems. And so, we ran a couple of these events around the world. We started with a smart mobility design challenge, and that was a phenomenal experience because Bosch had graciously granted us access to a Jaguar, an electric Jaguar. And, in blockchain enabling that and the environment in which it was operated, we were able to, prove out that there were some interesting opportunities around blockchain and IoT for simple use cases like trying to park your car in an urban setting, right? So if you've got, the notion being that if you've got an automotive manufacturer picking and selecting a blockchain technology of one form factor and having that vehicle interact with parking infrastructure, who might be provided by Siemens, and maybe they've created or leveraged completely different blockchain infrastructure. How do we get these two to talk? How does the car present itself to the parking garage and expresses its intent to park? And why would the parking garage believe anything that the electric vehicle or autonomous vehicle, might say, right? So there's some very interesting use cases that, when we boiled it down to very simple, needs of, the average person, right? Very compelling use cases started to emerge, very compelling solutions started to emerge, but more importantly, we were also able to address and highlight some very interesting, technical questions around what does this actually mean. And so now, fast forward to the work at AWS. We are looking at sustainability as one of those key areas where we're looking to expand on the narrative of blockchain and verification and ledger technologies in sustainability, and at the same time, I'm actually in the process of launching the next nonprofit and industry org called the Open Sustainability Collaborative. Where we're looking specifically at sustainability, but instead of coming at it from a technical perspective, we're coming at it from a people-first perspective, right? The idea that there are innovators around the world who are in underserved areas, right? Or they're underrepresented. We have individuals around the world who we know are PhDs and masters in material sciences and electrical engineering and what have you. How do we get these folks plugged into solving some of the world's most serious challenges, while at the same time creating opportunities for themselves to create businesses and create startups? So as we look at the role of the Open Sustainability Collaborative, the OSC, our objective is to address some of the and accelerate some of the goals that corporates have, while at the same time creating opportunities for innovators to collaborate, to create businesses, or simply just to get hired by some of the companies that we would initiate design challenges and design programs around. So I'll pause there. I think we've got a pretty healthy panel here, so I didn't want to consume all the time, so I'll pause there.